Hello there and welcome to News Today with me, Emefa Akosia Adeti. Earlier, we brought you a live coverage of the minority reacting to the 2025 budget presentation that happened on the 11th of March in Parliament by Dr. Kasiela Toforsen. They have been reacting to how they feel about the budget and been casting some doubt on the credibility of the budget, amongst many other things, which will later in our subsequent bulletins be unpacking. But away from that, President Mahama has declared that the era of mediocrity and financial mismanagement by state-owned enterprises must come to an end. He warned that loss-making SOEs will no longer be tolerated and may either be merged, privatized, or shut down. Speaking at a meeting with CEOs of specified entities under the State Interest and Governance Authority, the president called for a complete reset of SOEs to drive their transformation.
Not in favor, say no. So I'm putting that question. As many as are not in favor, say no and just walk out. And we know that you are not prepared to be part of this reset and this reform. I think you all voted aye. So you're part of the reset agenda, and we expect something completely different from you. The reports we would look at next year will be the report for 2024. So really, your performance will show when we do the 2026 review. That will show for 2025. And I'm going to come and sit in that review, and we will mark you based on your performances. And if you're not matching with the pace of the reset agenda, you might be asked to step aside. And so if that adds to the horror movie, that's the intention. Thank you. Thank you for your presence this morning and the opportunity to address you. This morning's activity is not just a forum for discussion, but a decisive call to action, demanding bold leadership, accountability, and an unwavering commitment to excellence from you as chief executives of state-owned enterprises. This meeting reaffirms my commitment to the promise of a shake-up of all loss-making SOEs and realigning them to break even and transition into profit-making. As you have all noted, my 2024 campaign promises and the 120-day social contract with the good people of Ghana were not mere rhetoric. The 2023 State Ownership Report produced by the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, reveals the inefficiencies affecting many of our SOEs. And this demands that we act with conviction and courage to tackle the systemic challenges.
Well, still on this, Presidential Affairs Correspondent Maxwell Avakpe has also been engaging Director General of SIGA, Professor Michael Pesawhite. Bring you that interview a bit later in the bulletin or subsequent ones. But moving away from that, authorities at the Gambaga College of Education have suspended academic work following the killing of a student by unknown gunmen. Eyewitnesses say the student was found dead with suspected gunshot wounds outside the fence of the school campus. It's quite unclear the reason behind the killings. And again, we'll try and bring you details of how this happened, but we're going back to that conversation that my colleague Maxwell Avakpe had with Professor Michael Pesawhite.
Who do not meet their targets will be sanctioned, including possible removal. We're curious to find out what are some of the targets that has been set for these CEOs. Are we using the one from the previous administration?
So the president was speaking in the context of part of what we do on the basis of the Public Financial Management Act that requires us to have a performance contract with many of the state entities. And the targets are not one size fits all, because as you know, many of these entities have different mandates, they have different expectations, they are different in sizes, they have different portfolios, and they have different clients as well. And so when we talk about targets, we are talking about the agreed benchmarks for each of them during the performance contract negotiation process. And so overall, that's really what it is for many of them. For now, the one-size-fits-all that is embedded in that is that at least even those that are making losses must break even as far as profitability is concerned. And those that are making profits, we expect them to expand their profit margins. And we also expect that those that are already breaking even will add to the bracket of those who are making profit. That way, we would have seen that the transformation and the reset agenda is beginning to kind of produce results. But this is more like something that we will be able to talk about a year from now when we are talking about, maybe even 2 years from now, because much of what we are discussing right now is based on 2022 data in 2023 reports. And currently we are working on 2024 data into the 2025 reports. So 2025 data will go into the 2026 report, right? And so the real impact of President Mahama's tenure as far as the SOEs are concerned will be seen in 2026. And I am quite confident that institution per institution, we will see that there will be maybe a positive outcome from all our state-owned enterprises and the other entities.
Are you optimistic, and can you put a figure to the number that you're hoping to see a turnaround when it comes to this?
Well, in terms of individual numbers of entities, I wouldn't be able to, because as you know, these entities are managed by individual CEOs and their boards as well. We will be looking to see what their strategic visions are. Because look, even though we provide oversight, even though we provide some regulation, even though we are allowed to review them and provide advice to the government, we are also mindful of making sure that we don't micromanage them. We don't become a micromanaging space that will obstruct, their ability to achieve their goals. So it's a bit difficult to mention, but I think that...
Moving on, Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed is seeking help from religious bodies to decongest Ghana's prisons, which currently have about 14,000 inmates. He's worried that the current infrastructure does not support such numbers, and decongesting the country's prison has become a major task he intends to tackle. At a meeting with the religious leaders, he proposed the setting up of training facilities in the prisons to empower the inmates with useful skills, with a call on businesses to also aid with agriculture so they can feed themselves. Hannah Odame has more in this report.
According to the sector minister, 92% of the prisoners in the country's prisons cannot be taken out due to the kind of sentences they have. This, the minister believes, should, however, not prevent them from gaining skills. He's therefore called for a private-public partnership with businesses in agriculture, artisanal, and others to assist the inmates.
We want to create industrial hub within our own prison, where businesses can establish within our prison. And when they do, they are guaranteed of what we call hands, because you are simply paying minimum wage. But what it does 4 things for the prisoner, the average prisoner. 1, they learn skill by working in those industries. 2, you only get to work if you are a well-behaved prisoner. So it helps us have prison stability. 3, you make money, because whatever income that you are paid is reserved for you. And 4, most importantly, and we've seen that in many countries, and we are hoping to do same here, which is, if you have good behavior for less than 6 months, your sentences get reduced by 6 months.
The minister also touched on the over 200 chieftaincy disputes in the country, urging the National Peace Council to work at resolving the issues. Alhaji Muntaka was not enthused about some of the disruptions in churches during the ban on drumming and noise making.
No, you can have a ban on noise making, but it doesn't prevent the church from having its church service. And part of the church service is the worship, the singing, the praises, and that one, just as you cannot prevent the Muslims from calling the azan, the only thing is that we won't go on the streets or outside the church doing noise and doing that prayer. I do respect and difference to what you are doing. But it should not be that we cannot have our service. No. I will try and make it. Just as I'm doing this, I'm trying to make all of us, including the traditional leaders, to know that, no, that is not people know that you are there. That is imposing your faith on others. You can have yours, nobody's preventing from having yours, but you should not prevent others from having yours.
The minister talked about how he facilitated the repatriation of some Chinese nationals who were engaged in fraud in the country.
I've seen Chinese have a place in Namibia estate in Common 26, and they have a very big place, bigger than this place. All they do is they do fraud, and they work between 11 to 4 a.m. and it's just fraud. And then they will lure other African citizens, tell them that they should come to Ghana, there's a good job, and when they seize their passport, they lock them in there, and they teach them how to do their fraud, and then all they do is that. And then one Ugandan sneak out, and we got a tip. When we went and did the sweeping, we arrested 107 Chinese, 185 Ghanaians who are aiding them, Filipinos, Ugandans, and what have you. I've repatriated all the 107 Chinese, and I got them back to their country.
When the minister met with the Muslim leaders, he bemoaned the number of Muslim youths in the country's prisons, urging the leaders to inculcate discipline amongst the Muslim youth.
We currently have a population of about 14,000. As of the day for yesterday, the exact number was about 13,997, with about 900 of them foreigners. If you take the Ghana Statistical Service population census report, and you look at our population as a country, and what is stated as the percentage of Muslims in this country, we have a disproportionate number of people in the prison that are Muslim. Our number in the prison, in proportional terms, is far higher than our population, the general population. It tells you that there's a big problem in our community. It's unfortunate that most of the langars that we see around, each time there is a swoop and they are arrested, it's sad for me to say that sometimes 100% of them are coming from the Zongo community. And most times, majority of them are coming from the Muslim community. They put their lives online for others, sometimes for peanuts. And sometimes they do all manner of things that really brings all of us name into great disrepute. These are some of the things that we want to engage in for us to see, put our heads together to see what is it that we can do together.
The deliberations are expected to foster and nurture peace, harmony, and cohesion in the country. For JoyNews, I am Hannah Odami.
So, officials of the Forestry Commission have apprehended 8 suspected illegal miners deep in the Subi forest in the Western region. The operation, led by Western Regional Manager of the Forestry Commission, Nana Poku Bosompim, also saw the destruction of mining equipment, highlighting the ongoing battle against deforestation and environmental degradation. Here's Natalia Kwanzaa's report.
This is the Subi Forest Reserve, one of Ghana's largest and most significant biodiversity zones, spanning over 580 square kilometers. It has suffered severe deforestation over the past 2 decades due to illegal activities, including mining. During a recent operation, forestry guards stormed a suspected illegal mining site and encountered 6 men draped in talisman and sitting on motorbikes, seemingly unbothered by the intrusion. Initially confident that they could intimidate the guards, the reality of the full force of the operation quickly dawned on them. 2 other suspects were also arrested: a tricycle rider who claimed he had been called to transport gold-bearing rocks, and a man believed to be a fetish priest responsible for performing rituals to uncover gold deposits.
Look at the Takrady Forest District, for instance. There are about 3 forest reserves. Almost all of them have had incidences of illegal mining in them. If you go to Takwa, that'll be more brazen. If you go to the Asankrega portion of the forest district of the Western region, it has also been very terrible. Then what we are doing now can serve as a major deterrent. Our target is the machines. Our target are the excavators, the gold detector machines. And in due course, I'm sure we'll get them all.
The guards seized and set ablaze 8 motorbikes and 3 tricycles used by the miners. However, excavators, believed to be the primary tool for the illegal operations, were moved before the team could arrive. The devastating impact of illegal mining is evident: scarred landscapes, abandoned pits, and polluted water bodies. Despite these arrests, many miners managed to flee after receiving a tip-off about the operation.
This illegal mining in forest reserves have been very, very devastating. You could see from the large tracts of forest area destroyed through the activities of illegal miners. Now, their modus operandi has been to move in the cover of darkness with the excavators, and by morning, they move the excavators into the community to create a semblance of, oh, we are mining, but not inside forest reserves. But you could see that when we got into the forest, the excavators have been moved. You could see the tracks on the ground. So the effect has been very devastating, destruction of the forest cover and destruction of water bodies even found inside the forest.
The 8 suspects are now in police custody pending further investigation and prosecution. For JoyNews in Athalia, Kwanza, Western Region.
And for our Ghana Month series, the Avakpe Protective Mountain is the only tourist site in the entire Central Tong District. This family of mountains is believed to have won wars for the Tong people in the pre-colonial era. Emmanuel Jivenu peels the layers of the breathtaking site of the Avakpe Protective Mountains.
They are regarded as a family of mountains: Father Mountain, Mother Mountain, Daughter Mountain, and a host of other unnamed rocky hills forming the Avakpe Protective Mountains.
This mountain initially is used as a sacred area, a fetish ground. In the olden days, our great-great-grandfathers used the place as a war ground. So literally, the name Avakpe means war stone. They mounted guard to look for enemies, and they put their children and wives at the top of the mountain. As you can see, the tallest one around us. And they go to attack enemies when they come closer. We have different war stones. One is called Mama, so it's called Mama Avakpe. The husband is called Togbi Avakpe. The only daughter they have is called Vi, meaning first daughter. Then we have other small gods around.
Welcome to the Avakpe Protective Mountains, located at Mafi Avakpe Dome in the Central Tong District of the Volta region. The view from the mountain is a sight to die for. No wonder many musicians choose it as a setting to film music videos. But the Avakpe Mountains carry many stories, and I'll peel layers of this beautiful story to you. After defeating their enemies in the pre-colonial era, the people of Avakpe Dome gathered here to celebrate and also drown their sorrows. This mountain continues to play an important role in the socio-economic lives of the locals here, serving a variety of purposes, ranging from spiritual to agriculture, health, and recreation. This story will be told through Martin Goza, a retired educationist, family head, and one of Avakpe Dome's opinion leaders. The forefathers of Avakpe Dome designated this relatively flat-topped mountain as a recreation area. Now that all wars of conquest have ceased, the youth have decided to use the mountain as a recreational site.
It's a special invitation to visit the Central Town where I come from. You're watching News Today. We go for a quick break. When we come back, showbiz, please stay. Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline Ansuma. To first story, Ghana's culture is rich and it's time to show it off. Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Gomashi, is calling on all MMDAs to uncover what makes their region unique, and the ministry is ready to help put them on the map.
On the part of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, we are saying that each region out of the 16 in this country has something that is very unique. Even the regions that have been divided into two, like Volta and Luti, there are some things some nuances that are different. I want all MMDAs, municipal district assemblies, and all of you, please, unearth and introduce to us as a ministry what we haven't seen before, what we didn't know about, and we will help you to promote them. And I want to urge Ghanaians, please visit one region once a month. I'm begging you. Visit, if you were born in Accra like I was, visit the Volta region, visit the Eastern region, visit somewhere else. And don't wait for a group to do it. You can do it by yourself, you see. And let's all celebrate Ghana more, not only on Fridays. Wear the Ghana wear 3 times a week. It's better than once a week. We started well with the Friday wear, but we can improve. We can do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I'm made in Ghana, you can take me to London. I'm made in Ghana, you can take me to Lagos.
From Mahama to Paimuka and now global rap dominance, Hiplife music has been on quite the journey. Born in the mid-90s, this Ghanaian genre blended Highlife's rich rhythms with hip-hop's punchy flow. But who really started it? Some say Reggie Rockstone, others point out to early influences like Jedu Blay, Ambole, KK Kabobo. But what's undeniable, though, is that Hiplife has become the heartbeat of Ghanaian music. Let's explore the evolution of Hiplife music for Throwback Thursday. It all started when Reggie Rockstone, fresh off a stint in Europe, decided to mix rap with local highlife beat in 1994. By 1997, he had released Mahama, setting the tone for a whole new movement. His flashy style and catchy bangers like Choboy made him the face of Hiplife. Then came the lyrical genius, Obrafo, who took things up a notch in the late 90s. His 1999 debut album, Paimuka, produced by Mahama, is still hailed as one of the best Ghanaian rap albums ever. The 2000s saw another shift, with Achame bringing his smooth flow and smart wordplay to the game. His 2008 hit, Woso, had everyone dancing. And by 2009, he was Ghana's Artist of the Year.
Try imitation. Obefa Berlin, Hamburg, we are West in Norway. Uko do German and Babroni, bis in Norway. Was somewhere you go, was somewhere you go.
If there's one name that defined Hiplife hip-hop fusion in 2010, it was Sarkodie. He has taken Ghanaian rap to the world stage with lightning fast flow and award-winning albums. But the story doesn't end here. Today's artists like Asaka Boys, Kwesi Arthur, Medical, Black Sharif, and many more are pushing the genre even further, blending Afrobeat, drill, and hiplife into something fresh. The sound keeps evolving, proving that
Hiplife isn't just music, it's a movement that refuses to stand still. For Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Ansuma Yaboa.
In my head, everything I touch is blessing. All I see is blessings, and no man can stop.
On that note, is a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline Ansuma Yaboa. Over to you, MFA Akosia Adeti.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And definitely, I love Thursdays. But in the spirit of Ghana Month, I'll tell you where I come from briefly. Okay. So I come from Bakpa, Newtown, a small community.
I didn't get the town again.
Bakpa, Newtown.
Bakpa.
Newtown.
Okay.
Which is originally called Avakpe, which means you will definitely come back no matter where you go.
Hey,
and no matter what you did to any person from that town, you definitely come to tell the story. In between Sugakope and Adidome is a small community where Wafa is located. Yeah?
Wow. What's unique about your hometown?
The West African Football Academy. That's where it's located.
Oh, that's nice. Well, tomorrow I promise to bring you facts about where I come from. That's cool. Pepiase.
Definitely. Well, thank you for joining us today on News Today with me, MFA Akosia Adeti. For more news, though, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Thank you for watching.